Everyone, happy Friday. Back in my studio. How you doing? How you doing? Are you enjoying the spring-like weather? I am hoping that we are going to be enjoying the spring-like weather for a while. We will see, but it has been a beautiful week, and let's hope it stays like that next week. I wanted to talk today, really short talk on about classical music. And I just have seen a lot of rock type programs come out lately and a lot of interest in rock schools. And it makes me think of that movie. Is it School of Rock? It was a great movie. But I'm just seeing a lot of those pop up and it's good. It is good. It is not a bad thing. It just worries me a little bit about the classical music tradition because I think that we conflate rock schools as classical music schools, and they're not. And so here are the biggest differences that I have found. Please tell me if you disagree with this. I think that sometimes the rock schools really focus on innovation, which is great, but they're focused on technology and innovation and getting to the ensemble part of playing and kind of getting into it really fast. And while that's good, it worries me in that I wonder if these kids are getting the necessary foundation before they move on to actually playing in ensembles. Are they learning the language? And in a classical based school, you're going to get the foundations first. You're going to learn the language. You are going to be learning the notes. You're going to be learning all of that. You're going to be learning the theory behind music. And I'm not so sure that rock-based schools are doing it, at least in the same way. And whereas we kind of hold their traditions, so our teachers teach what their teachers taught, and it's been this like handed down thing. But well, rock-based school obviously is going to be a newer thing. So again, you'll get a lot of innovation, you'll get a lot of technology, you get a lot of maybe getting a lot of experience in a lot of different instruments, but maybe not so much foundation on one instrument. So another thing that you might find in a rock school versus a classical music based school is that rock schools like keyboards and the digital world a little bit more, whereas classical based schools like us, we have all real pianos. And so really focused on, and some of us actually abhor technology like myself. I'm not a huge technology person. And so we really are playing our instruments without the use of a lot of technology, and it's just keeping the traditions alive. Back in the day, back in Mozart's time and Beethoven's time, they didn't have technology. They relied on the instruments themselves to get the music across. And there's something within opera singers, if you didn't know this, called the singer's formant. And basically, it is a frequency that singers can produce inside of their bodies that goes above any instrument. So that whole stereotype of like Brunhilde with the horns and the singing and this like big voice and it, shatters glass and all of that. There's some truth to that, and that they can find this frequency that goes above any instrument. So I think it's really, really cool because your voice is really working at its optimum when you're doing something like that, and you're really utilizing the breath and utilizing the vocal cords in a way that's not so prized at this point, right? Because we have the digital stuff, we have microphones, we have all that. And so it's just a different type of thinking. I heavily encourage people to start out with the foundations of stuff because once you learn the language, once you learn the technique stuff, you can really go to anything from there. So we always start out when students are young, 3 and 4 year olds, we start with violin. It's a wonderful way to read music. They're learning the treble clef with that, but then also they're getting this instrument to hold, and it's very motivating for young students. But then when they get a little bit older, they also could do piano, which is a wonderful foundational instrument. They're learning both clefs, so doing multitasking. It is multitasking. It is fun. I've always said that I think piano and organ, more so organ, are the hardest instrument out there because you really are multitasking and you're looking at a bunch of different things and you're doing a bunch of different things at the same time. Um, so I just feel like when we get to rock, the immediacy, I've talked about this before, about the immediacy of music. I think when students and parents and everybody sees all these instruments right here and they're all ready to go, it makes them go, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. Maybe when they're not quite even ready to do so. So it's very easy to skip over some of the foundational stuff because they're young. So yes, music is fun, but are they really learning the language? Are they really learning the fundamentals so that they can actually play the instruments, so that they actually could join a group when they're old enough? So that's just my question. I just don't want music to become about flash, all about flash and that immediacy thing. I just think it sets us up for failure. And I think that step by step thing, there's a freedom in that, right? To know that it will take time. I just think that gives people permission to take their time, to give their permission just to sit in the gray area of music learning so that they're not necessarily good yet, but they're learning and they're working towards this long-term goal. And so that's where I worry about these rock schools, is that it doesn't always feel like such a long-term thing. So it kind of feels like a lot of in and out, a lot of yeah, again, the immediacy seems to be there. I also think that learning the foundations first, learning the methodical, learning my scales, singing my scales. Pavarotti, I think I've told you this, that Pavarotti, one of the most famous tenors of all time, was in the three tenors. I actually went to see him in concert, believe it or not, in Raleigh before he died. There is a story that he was only allowed to sing an octave for his first year of becoming an opera singer. He decided he wanted to be one, so he was just singing that octave with his teacher. And then he became a world-renowned opera singer that sang all of the great tenor roles and just was everybody knew him, and he was just so vocally healthy, singing well into his 80s and everything. So that was pretty amazing. So classical music, it also is universal because we're not the only country that's learning in this fashion. Other countries are also doing the same because it's a tradition, right? This is a long-term tradition. This is something that we have learned, for eons. And so it unites all of us. It just honors the traditional part of music. And I think that is what I would like to see us kind of get back to, is to honoring the traditional parts of music. The things about music that makes it slow, but makes it also just so worthwhile. I think it also is such a beautiful metaphor for life because, again, I think we also expect immediacy in everything, every aspect of our lives. So it's another way to slow down and to enjoy the steps, to enjoy the middle, the messy middle, right? So if you are looking for a classical based school, please reach out, RaleighSchoolOfMusic.com. We have a new semester starting in June, and the summer is a wonderful time to start learning music. It's a little bit more loosey-goosey here. It's a little bit more, there's more time because people are going on vacations and school is out and all of those things for a lot of people. So come learn the traditional aspects of music. Come learn on a real piano. Come learn with acoustic instruments. Although we do offer guitar, electric guitar, but that is not our main thing. Our main thing is acoustic instruments. So we have all the string instruments and we have drums, and we have piano, and we have acoustic guitar, and we have voice lessons, and all of the things that you can think of that are acoustic. Um, yeah. The summer lesson registration will be out on Monday, this upcoming Monday. And camps. We will also be having some camps. We're going to be doing a musical camp. I've decided on which one. Yay, finally. And we are going to do a drum camp. So this drum camp is going to not only be school band drums, but it's also going to be drum set and like a whole bunch of different things in one camp. So I will have information about that. We also will be having a strings camp. The strings camp will be working one-on-one, but then also in chamber groups and then also as an ensemble. So if you are interested in that, please let us know. Also going to be doing a choir or a chorus this summer, a kids chorus, but then also an adult chorus to come sing with a group of singers. And that one will be meeting weekly. So that's not a camp, but it'll be meeting weekly. But come learn traditional classical music, and we would love to work with you. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.